Hey y'all, just wanted to jump on because we realized today that we forgot to make the announcement that we've had our second kidding so far of the season. Still have 3 or 4 to go. So far we got 2 boys. This is also a little Nubian buckling, but isn't he gorgeous? He's so pretty. He's very tame. Oh, is he gonna get up? Maybe not. Hey, Amanda's garden. He is a sweetie. Look, he's gonna come. He wants to come talk to you. I hope the sound is okay. I'm doing this from my iPhone. It's very, very windy here at AldermanFarms, so I hope the wind noise isn't too bad for you. Hey, little man. Hey, little man. He's so pretty, and oh, good. Thanks, Amanda. He's so pretty, and his thanks, Tammy. No, we're not kidding. Well, yes. Wait, we are. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Hang on. He's crawled up under me. He is fine, and he's very personable, and he likes to visit. And right now he doesn't know where his mama is. I know something he doesn't know, and that is that she's right behind him. This ain't her. Believe it or not, that's not his mama. Looks like it should be, right? They look like almost a match. This kid, Doc, was born Thursday. So today is Monday. I don't do math. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days old. I think that's right. Paul, it's pure Nubian. Nubian. Both the mom and the dad are Nubian, and so it's forgive me if I'm insulting your intelligence. You may know this already, but that's a dairy breed. If you don't know that, Nubians are prized for the high butterfat content in their milk. Everybody has their own preferences on goat milk. Those people who like goat milk, and I'm one of them. Like an old man told me one time. And I mentioned this on Big Family Homestead's live feed last night, that drinking goat milk will make you want to throw rocks at cows. All right, believe it or not, that's his mom. The black Nubian doe is his mom. Isn't that funny? Now there's the previous one. You've already met this little guy a couple of weeks ago, and that's his mom right over there. And their color patterns are almost identical, not quite. The patch on his side's a little further back toward his haunches, and his is it's more broken up than hers is. It's more solid. But so we were quite surprised when Blackie, just what we call the doe on the right, had this little fella. Oh, now come on, Brownie, don't be ugly. But you know, it's a crapshoot anytime goats have babies, because especially in Nubians, they can have all kind of variety of colors and patterns. And we had one once that was spotted, and she was pure and came from a great bloodline. And oh, come on now, Blackie, he needs a little nip there. He's been resting. He just woke up. He needs his morning coffee or his afternoon refreshment. And what's amazing is this little fella's only, like we said, 4 days old, and he's already nibbling. Look at him. He picked him up a pine needle, which that's good. That's encouraging. So anyway, we've got the goats in the yard. Patty shot a little video earlier. We do have a lawnmower, but why waste gas when you've got grazing animals that will come in and mow it down for you? Now here's a little note if you don't know about goats, that these goats are grazing right now. Goats prefer to browse. Well, Tommy, what's the difference between grazing and browsing? Well, grazing is doing what they're doing right now. They're eating grass and clover. Look at him. He's eating a piece of clover. Or, well, he's mouthing it anyway. Off of the ground. Browsing is up off the ground, like eating briars and stuff. Hey, kitty. Eating briars and bushes and things like that. So goats are natural browsers, and a lot of times, isn't he adorable, kitty? A lot of times people get into trouble. Goats have a bad rap of having a hard time with parasites. Well, a lot of times one of my first questions is, are they grazing or browsing? Because if they're forced to graze, if they don't have enough browse available and they're eating off of the ground too much, well, that's how they're ingesting the parasites. They're yeah, Doc, floppy-eared, adorable lawnmowers. That's right. But we're only this is the first mowing. You know, we won't let them do it all the time because of what I just talked about. They're walking around pooping while they're grazing, and if goats are forced to graze rather than browse. Hey Blake, Daddy Curb's in the house. Y'all, my regular AldermanFarms viewers, if you're not familiar with Blake Kirby, you need to run on over to Daddy Curbs, DADDYKIRBS on YouTube. He's really got it going on, and Blake is a great guy, a superhuman being, and a gentleman, and I think you'll enjoy his content. But again, I keep interrupting myself. Thanks for that, Blake. You threw me off. If somebody complains about parasites in their goats, having a hard time having to worm them all the time, my first question is, do they mostly browse or do they mostly graze? And most often I can guess that they mostly graze. Well, they're being re-exposed to parasites through the life cycle from the ground. If goats are able to browse mostly, it's not that they can't graze ever. I mean, duh, I've got some in here grazing right now, but this has not had livestock on it. So it should be, they hadn't had livestock on it since last year, so it should be parasite free. But if they're able to browse for most of their natural nutrition, then you're not gonna have a parasite problem. We rarely have to worm our goats here at AldermanFarms. Something you didn't know though, that if you have goats that get parasites, man, they'll go down, especially purebred goats. You got a very short window of time to rectify that, because they will just go crazy. All animals have parasites in them. It's when they get overloaded that they will die quickly. So if you got a goat that's showing if their gums are not nice and pink, if they're kind of pale, you better do something quick, because you're liable to walk out the next day and find them gone piquant. I've missed a few comments, I'm sorry, and on this phone they only stay up there for a few seconds and then they go away. So if you had a question, please put it back up there for me and I'll try to answer it. Hey Jared, yes they are Nubian. Somebody must have asked again what breed they are. They are pure Nubian. Both mom and dad are pure Nubian. All right, well, is Tomas going to name this one too? You know, probably, because we haven't named him yet. So I don't know if he'll be Branson, which is Ashton's brother in real life. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see. This is Ashton, by the way. Y'all might have, if y'all hadn't met Ashton before, you might have missed it. Tomas, we asked Tomas what he wanted to name this little goat, and without batting an eye, he said Ashton, which is one of the teenagers at our local church. And Patty was wondering what Ashton, the real Ashton, would think about that. He was honored, of course, that Tomas thought about him and gave him a Nubian namesake. Yeah, you know, I've heard about Jatan. I've heard about using tobacco, but I haven't. I've heard that before and just never looked into it. But somebody was talking about it. Okay, let me see something. Blake says on my machine I can touch the. Oh no. I don't know. I'm seeing some buttons I'm afraid to touch because it seems like I want to kill something. I don't know. I'll have to look into that, Blake. Thank you, because doesn't seem to be working for me. When I did that, I saw your comment, but that was it. I'm touching all over the place. I don't know. So they're right next to Patty's box garden, the garden area, and we're fixing to be working, in fact, on this area right here. We're going to clean this out. Yeah, I got an iPhone. Maybe it's an Android feature that I don't have. We're fixing to be cleaning this little area out, so I hope the goats will focus on this for a while. Okay, he said he can swipe up. Well, when I swiped up, Blake, I did get like the last few. I got the 2 comments prior to yours saying you can swipe up and down. Oh, if I swipe down, there they are. Okay, cool. All right, well, I've waited too long to do that because I really need to get off now. But thanks, Blake. You're my hero. You're exactly right. If you swipe down on the screen, it goes back through the chat messages I've mentioned. So let me just wrap up this idea and then I'm gonna sign off. I was just telling you this area right here outside the garden fence, we're gonna be stripping this down. Hopefully the goats will do it today. And then we're gonna be removing the roots of the grasses and covering this with mulch, because Patty's got some planting ideas right inside the garden fence line here. And so we don't want this grass to be encroaching in there. We had mulch here before, but we also had some chickens that were free ranging to the extreme, and they ain't nothing more attractive to a chicken than a fresh pile of mulch. They will get in there and scratch, and it's good for them. They find some goodies in there, but it's hard to keep a mulch bed intact if you got chickens running everywhere. Okay, Ashton, tell everybody bye. Tell everybody thanks for watching. We appreciate all of our viewers on Alderman Farms, and I'm gonna say it again. I already had Blake blushing one more time, but all you guys, if you're not familiar with Blake Kirby, go over to Daddy Curbs. Just search that in your YouTube search bar. Daddy Curbs, K-I-R-B-S. And when you get there, be sure and tell him that we sent you. And I'm sure you'll enjoy Blake's content, and you'll certainly enjoy his personality. He's a gentle soul, and he's good at what he does. And we consider him a friend, even though we've never met. And so anyway, thanks, and we will talk to you folks later on, I'm sure.